Okay, guys, as we're getting started, if everybody can hear me okay, I'm going to ask you to do me a huge favor. Just give me a shout out. Tell me where you're calling in from and your name. We're going to get started here in about 2 more minutes. Welcome, welcome. Matt, good afternoon, my friend. Good to talk to you again. Okay, we've got about 50 people on the line. If you would please announce yourselves just so I know where people are calling in from. We've got some people in from Houston, a couple people in from Dallas. If you could please announce yourselves, tell me where you're calling from. Ruben, welcome, welcome, guys. Welcome to the call. Okay, about another 30 seconds and we'll get started, guys. Make sure that you're in a nice, quiet area, that you're able to write, take some notes. This will be a recorded webinar, so if you miss something or if one of your colleagues isn't able to jump on right now, or if somebody missed it, that's okay. It'll be recorded. We are actually recording at this moment, so we'll be able to get this information to them sooner or later. I expect that we'll have this up by about Monday, okay? And my intent is to help get us off the ground here in a big way. So it's 1 o'clock, guys. My time, Mountain Standard Time. We're going to go ahead and get started. Uh, I'm Jesus Bustillos, your host, and I'm blessed to be on the call with you all. And I hope that I help deliver some great value to you, and that I hope I make a difference for you as you get moving here with what we're all talking about with affordable care and Obamacare. So I promised that we were going to get done within an hour. Maybe we'll get done sooner. And I'm going to go ahead and get started to make sure that we can meet that commitment, okay? So just make sure you're able to take some notes, that you're in a nice quiet area. We're going to go over a lot of information. I speak a little bit fast. Again, it's being recorded in case you missed something. And I will be sending out some freebies and a link to this recorded information to those of you that are participating on this webinar, as well as everybody else that we have been corresponding with via email. So once again, I'm Jesus Bustillos, and welcome, guys. And I am so excited about what we see here happening over the next few days. Um, just so that you all know. And by the way, I've left the call open. I'm going to ask you all to please keep yourselves on mute, or if you have a question, just wait till the very end. If it starts to get loud, we'll mute the call. But I wanted to leave it open so at the end we're able to ask some questions and get some answers if you have some, okay? So in the next few days we start, guys, and it's a very exciting time to be in the insurance profession, simply because of the fact that we're coming into a period here that we have never before seen in our profession, and that is that we are going to have a situation where everyone is going to be looking for you. There are going to be people that had never even conceived of talking to us before as far as insurance or any of these things, and they're going to be contacting you very, very shortly, just because of the fact that they're all going to be looking for an advisor to help guide them through this situation. So it's a once in a lifetime deal. This next 6 month window between now and the end of March is going to be allowing us to set up a massive foundation. It's only 6 million Texans, so I know that's not that many, but that's quite a few. And we start in the next 10 days. So there's a lot to cover. These are some of the subjects that I'm going to cover very briefly. And my goal, like I said initially, guys, is to help deliver some value. Hope to give you some clarity. Hope to give you some guidance. But more than anything else, I want to make sure that I'm serving you, those of you that are on the phone, with some value. I've been driven by value for a long time, and it's my absolute clear goal to make sure that I'm helping to serve people as I do everything that I do, because I know it all comes back to me. So here's the subjects we're going to talk about. We're going to first of all talk a little bit about how we're going to be helping people enroll, helping to serve, helping to get their questions answered, helping to get them into a better situation and get paid for different ways for doing that. Okay. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about who we are, why we're very different as an agency, and then our value, what we bring to the table. I'm also going to talk about how we're going to be doing this. You know, the whole gist of how we operate, how we create connections. We're going to be doing that, and as we're exploring and creating new relationships, we're going to make sure on the front end, as far as we're concerned, that we're creating value. Now, the next bullet point here you see is creating centers of influence. This all ties back into how we get paid for different ways, guys, and really setting yourself up for a very long time in terms of this one very unique lifetime opportunity with Obamacare. Also, we're going to talk briefly on endless referrals. Your competitive advantage, what you bring to the table, why I've looked to partner with agents around the state, and really how we may be able to deliver with one another. Okay, then we're going to be specifically talking about some of that strategy. We're going to do that along the way, actually, a timeline, what's next, and then the call to action. So, to keep moving along, first thing you need to know is that the strategy that we're going to be employing is four-pronged, if you will. There's this first strategy that we're going to be working with Obamacare. And the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, again, we've said it time and time again, guys, is the biggest event that's taking place in our profession, in the history of our profession. I say that because Benjamin Franklin, you know, when all that happened, there just wasn't that many people around. Now there's tons more people around, and this is affecting about 60% of the population in one form or another. The other 40% or so are on Medicare or on government programs. So this is a major event. And having said that, we can position ourselves not just for growth now, but for growth in the very near future, and then in the long term, just because of this one event. So it's very important that we recognize that some people will only be seeing this event as being able to get paid through Obamacare, and that's a mistake. I'm going to repeat that one more time because that bears repeating. Some people will see this as only an opportunity to make money through Obamacare, and that's a major mistake. You see, some people will be able to take advantage of that and cross-sell into different opportunities, and we have never before seen a situation that is better suited for cross-selling, because we're going to be working through employers, than what we're doing with Obamacare. So it is an awesome opportunity. So the second stage of our strategy, guys, is to work through employers with voluntary benefits. There are more and more companies that are looking at voluntary benefits as a way to round out their benefits strategy and to help with all the different things that they need benefits to help meet in the way of demand with their workforce. So there couldn't be a better time for that. Voluntary benefits have continued to be on the rise, and we're working with the premier carrier in that space in the United States. And then we're going to be working through your different types of business owners. And business owners are the third way we're going to get paid, because obviously after we've set up a Obamacare customer, a Affordable Care Act customer through the marketplace, we'll be pivoting to work through employers. And then as a result of having that relationship with that employer, we're going to be talking to the ownership within that company and also helping them with their own personal planning. We'll talk about that more in a second. And then last but not least, guys, this is all going to lead to an endless supply of referrals. So here's a real quick example of the enrollment strategy as it applies to Obamacare and the Affordable Care Act. Okay, we're going to work through high traffic areas. We're going to work through pharmacies, grocery stores, schools. Many of you in the conversations that I had with you on the phone remember me saying some of this to you, and in fact, this is the same strategy that we used with Medicare Advantage. And with the enrollments that we were able to acquire through Medicare Advantage, we enrolled around 3,000 seniors during that time, exploded as an agency, and were able to do some great things. And that wasn't just here in El Paso, that was around the state and in the various other states. And it was simply because the timing was such, the trending was such, that people were looking for us. Well, we're there again, but this is way bigger. So the first wave of people that we're going to be having talk to us are going to be the people that are already sick, the people that need help in moving from the high risk pool, that the people that need help from getting coverage where they weren't able to get any before. Maybe it was too expensive, and now they're able to get a subsidy, whatever the case was. But that's the first wave, guys, and that's the wave we're going to get prepared for first. That first wave getting prepared for first are going to be looking for you. Now, let me just help be real clear about why this is so important that we take advantage of this on the front end. There will be, like never before seen, so much public outreach that we don't need to worry about people knowing about this. All of us that are on the phone have been hearing about this because we're related to the industry. However, people that are out there in the public are going to be getting public service announcements. They're going to be getting mailers at home. They're going to be getting commercials from different companies. Blue Cross will be in full force on TV ads. So will United Healthcare. So will Humana. So will Aetna. Then there's going to be the public service announcements from the federal government reminding people that they have to make some choices or they're going to get a penalty. So you're going to see pharmacies, you're going to see hospitals, you're going to see everyone talking about this stuff in a way that we've never seen before, which makes an incredible opportunity for us to be able to just be at the right place at the right time. So the exposure for this is incredible. Now, the second phase, if you will, is when we start working through businesses. And we may employ this for some of you right up front. Some of you may need some help in learning how to do this. We'll talk about that. But the second phase of this is where we're going to start working through businesses. And what that means is real simple. Okay? Through broker reviews, through us contacting businesses through leads and through an auto dialer campaign, we're going to be visiting with business owners. I'm going to say that are 10 employees and up, but less than 50 employees, to help them maneuver through some of this. The fact is that most employers still don't know what they're going to do as it relates to these programs. That 1 in 5 are still totally in the dark, and 2 out of 5 have an idea what they're going to do, but still not sure. You know, there's still just a lot of miscommunication, a lot of unsureness, if you will, in what direction they're going to go in. So we bring to the table an opportunity for them to not only get some clarity, but help bring some light to the subject for their people. So there's going to be some business owners that we encounter that don't want to help their employees, and that's okay. There's plenty business owners out there and business companies that will want us to help. I can speak from experience because we have been involved in the group medical and voluntary benefits business for the last 19 years. And so having done all of that, we've seen both kinds of companies and both kinds of employers. So there will absolutely be an incredible opportunity for us to visit with business owners and help their employees maneuver through these changes. Now, as we help them maneuver through these changes, the business owner will be wanting to talk to us as well about their own situation. So, quick note here, you can see on the screen, 1 in 5 small businesses don't know what they will do about employee health insurance. And, that's just something that everybody's been talking about. So that's not new. Now, before I go into that next slide, a couple of quick points, guys, that I want to make sure that we're aware of, and really what the point is of approaching it this way. You heard me say a second ago that some people will approach this and just want to go and enroll Obamacare, and that's fine. Here's a quick case study for an individual situation, okay? And if you're seeing the screen, guys, you can see this. If you're not, if you're just listening to me on the phone, I hope it's making some sense. Okay, but an example case is, let's say, a 4-person family, a 40-year-old male, 38-year-old female, 2 kids, non-smokers, okay, $50,000 a year in income. That family would qualify for a 212% poverty level subsidy. Now, according to the Kaiser Family Foundation, and we now have rates, by the way, from most of the carriers. We'll talk about that soon. But just from the premiums that the Kaiser Family Foundation is estimating, that family will pay a premium of around $1,000 a month. Okay, about $11,000 a year. Now, United Healthcare, through our organization, is offering agents an 8% commission, and they will be active in certain counties. Blue Cross Blue Shield, whom we're working with, is offering agents a 6% commission. Okay, and that's either for 3 or 4 years, and then it'll be brought down, unfortunately, but it'll be a lifetime renewal. And a couple of the other carriers are doing something similar. Some are just doing a one-time enrollment fee for the year, and then they renew that once a year. But just to give you a quick example here, in this case, with this scenario, that would be a $573 commission. So if you just enrolled one case a month, one case a day for a month during the open enrollment, you'd set yourself up for, in year one, about $100,000 in income. And after that, you'd set yourself up for a pretty good base of renewal commission, of residual commission, from which you can obviously continue to grow. The point is real simple. That's just phase one, guys. Okay, when you look at the fact that as people look at, okay, I'm sorry, my slides here are a little, okay, here we go. If you look at the fact that afterwards we're going to be able to work with people on referrals, 90% likelihood of them purchasing the services or products that we're working with, the value that we get from that one relationship is pretty huge. Now we'll be able to work with those referrals, not just on Obamacare stuff, obviously, but that'll lead to other cross-selling opportunities. And we'll talk about that down the road. But the bottom line is that after we looked at that case study, we also looked at the case study of what happens when you enroll a employer, phase two of the enrollment. Okay. Now, when you enroll phase two of the enrollment, let's just pretend one of those individuals happens to work for a company by the name of ABC Plumbing, and or Bill's Plumbing Shop, and Bill's Plumbing Shop has 18 employees. And because you learn and we share with you the strategy of how you're going to get in the door with just about every employer that you call that you want to do business with, okay, we're going to share with you how we employ that strategy on the ground, and how you're able to get into the door and not be in competition with 50 other agents. Okay, this is a never before shared strategy that you guys are going to get a ton of value from, I'm sure. Bottom line, you're now talking to Bill at Bill's Plumbing Shop, and he says, sure, I want you to come in and help my people. So as an example, he's got 18 employees, and 5 of them enroll in the Affordable Care Act through you. So that's an estimated $2,500 in first year commission. Okay, so that's part one of your payout for that case. But part two of that is where we introduce the voluntary benefits component. You're already there. You already have a relationship that's developed with Bill. Bill likes you. You like Bill. He's a nice guy. He cares about his people. You know, you've got access to his people already. So obviously, we're going to treat that the same way we would have treated it if it was a group medical enrollment, even though he may not have been paying for the premium. And so we're going to develop this case. We're going to work smarter, not harder. We're going to get more out of that one relationship than we would have if we would have just gone down the road. So out of those 18 employees, let's just pretend half of them participate. Statistically, when you know what you're doing, about 70% participate. But let's just pretend 50% participate, and the average deduction per employee for life and disability insurance is $15 a week. That's about $60 a month. Times 9 employees, that's about $585 per month, about $7,000 in annual premium combination of life and disability insurance. So when you add the $45,000, $4,000 to $5,000 of first year comp, along with the $2,500 of first year compensation for Affordable Care Act, when you add those together, you know, that's some pretty good income from that one case. But we're not done yet. Now you're going to be dealing with the owner. Again, beginning this process, you have to employ the I'm going to give you value first methodology, and I'm going to explain that later. But the bottom line is you can't come in like every other agent. The bottom line is you can't come in like an agent that says, I'm here to sell your guys insurance, because they're getting those calls day in and day out. So you got to stand out. And the way you stand out, the way we're going to share with you the information on how to stand out, is how to bring value to the table. Give them something they want. So because you come in as someone that is giving them something they want, I'm going to talk about that in a second. Now you're likable. Now they want to do business with you. Now you stand out. Now you're just head and shoulders above the rest. And all of this comes into reality. Now, you're able to then work with the owner. Obviously, they're going to be looking at buying life insurance. Obviously, their family will either be looking to enroll in the Affordable Care Act or maybe a private plan outside of the Affordable Care Act. But they may also look at business overhead expense insurance for their business. They may also look at long-term care insurance. So there's just a great foundation here that we can set up through Obamacare, guys, that all leads back to you having a very incredible situation where referrals are now endless. And again, we have a strategy and methods that will help you learn how to do that and never be cold calling again. Okay, and this is tried and true, guys. So just a real quick snippet on who we are. We've been in the business for almost 20 years. Next year will be our 28th year in the business. We have been very blessed and very fortunate over that span of time to have been able to work with a lot of incredible people, mentored by some incredible people, and just been able to learn and do some incredible things that were allowed us to get recognized nationally as an agency. And during that time, we've contracted, trained, worked with hundreds of agents in multiple states, and we've worked with thousands of customers in not just one-on-one settings, but also in groups through voluntary benefits and group medical. And obviously, throughout that process, we've learned what not to do. So we've been able to develop some pretty incredible systems through the assistance and through the development of relationships. And that's major, because you know what? At the very beginning of our career, we didn't know what we were doing. We were going about getting started just like everybody else, knocking on doors, buying leads, trying to use direct mail. And we all know those leads for direct mail can be pretty expensive. 20, 30, 40 bucks is ridiculous for a lead. And we were doing things that everybody else does, and we were getting the results that everybody else does. And we knew at some point that we had to stretch ourselves and get into a better situation, which meant we had to be doing things different, which meant we were going to have to go against the grain and do things that other people weren't doing. And that's really where our journey began. It was at that time that we landed our first major group, about 3,000 employees. And I have to tell you, I stepped in way over my head, but it was the best opportunity I'd ever seen. Was able to learn some incredible things about benefits and just really how the business works. But more importantly, over those years, I learned that it comes down to how you can serve other people. And so our competitive advantage, guys, is that we share information with agents, people that we've learned to work with, so that we can not only grow and develop relationships, but so that we can share with you concepts and strategies on how you're not selling. Okay? So that, and I'm getting a message here that it seems like I'm breaking up. I hope that you guys are able to hear me okay. I'll try to speak a little slower. Maybe that'll make a difference. I'm moving the mic a little closer to me. So the goal, guys, is that you don't try to sell, but that you instead serve. Okay. I think you can hear me now. Can you hear me now? Testing. Okay, guys, can you hear me now? Okay, I think you can hear me now. Here we go. We're back. Don't know what happened there, but we're back. Okay, so continuing along. Apparently our internet connection was getting slow, and that caused our sound to go away. So here we're back. As I was saying, our competitive advantage, guys, is to simply share this information that we've learned over the years, and we share that with agents so that we all learn how to help other people better and not how to sell, not how to pressure sell. Makes a big difference when you're developing an agency. So along the way, guys, the value that we bring to the table is that we're going to help share information with you that's going to develop skills, as opposed to what many people do when they start in the business, and they kind of approach it with a lottery ticket type of mentality. And when they approach the business, the profession, with a lottery ticket type of mentality, they get discouraged because they don't understand why they're not getting results. So we're going to go into some skills development that'll help you learn how to market. And we're going to help you understand the differences between posers, amateurs, and professionals so that you know what it takes to be a pro. And being a pro simply means that you've made a different level of commitment, guys. And so we also help agents and share information with you on how to do and how to create more interaction with social media and online branding. We will be providing at a later date, as Obamacare gets off the ground, for enrollments, websites, and access to websites, as well as leads. And we'll talk more about the leads and how we're going to do that, because they're not just going to be just regular leads, and an auto dialer campaign. So moving along, want to be clear, I'm making the point that it's all about relationships, guys, and really the way that we develop this is that we want to make sure people understand that our mission is clear. It's to provide executive expertise and create a competitive edge for us in the business world to a collaborative partnership. That's our mission as partners with you. And our values, as we relate them not just to you but to our customers, is that we bring results because we care enough to do the work right. We're going to bring solutions to the table that you will have never seen before. And helping you get there along with us helps make sure that we're working collaboratively. And so, because of the fact that we've been able to gain some of this knowledge and continue to grow and learn and stay humble enough to keep, learning, knows that we know that we're going to keep expanding on that knowledge base and keep growing. And we're just going to tell you how it is, guys. Whether or not people like the truth, that's just what we're going to do. We're never going to sugarcoat stuff. We're just going to tell you how it is, because that's the way I think things should be. And there's just not enough time in the world for us to do it any other way. So those are our values. And we approach the customers that we work with in the same way. And we expect you, if you work with us, if we've agreed that we're a good fit for each other, to do the same thing. Now, creating value is a proposition that's been around for a very long time. You may have heard in the past, guys, of value selling rather than needs-based selling. And value selling or creating value, guys, is real simple. Dale Carnegie, many years ago, wrote a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And within that book, he goes into the context of how to give people what they want. And if you can give people what they want, they're going to love you. They're going to want to do business with you. They're going to trust you. They're going to want to explore opportunities with you. And so, what is the value that you bring to the table to a customer? It shouldn't just be what everybody else brings to the table. Let me explain it differently. If the difference between working with you and working with the next agent is that you say, I provide great service, guess what? They all say the same thing. If you say that the great value that you bring to the table is that you're going to be there when they need you, guess what? They all say the same thing. So if you say that it's prices, well, guess what? There's always a less expensive company out there. If you say it's some kind of issue with quality or value, guess what? There's always someone that's going to be out trumping you on that card. So the bottom line is, guys, is that we got to learn in the industry, in the profession, being pros, how to better position ourselves within the mind of the person that we're working with, so that they not only see the value, but recognize the value and reward the value by giving us the business. So here's a few examples of what we're going to do to help you establish value. Okay, I'm not going to go into. Sorry, guys. Apparently, we keep breaking in and out. We're back. I don't know. I think it was just a minute ago that our connection dropped off, but we're here on the Dale Carnegie How to Win Friends slide. This again has been recorded for those of you that didn't catch the last couple of moments, okay? So the value that we're going to teach you on how to bring to the table, guys, is real simple. And it all comes down to positioning yourself in the minds of the persons that we're working with as bringing a better value than the competition. In other words, so that there is no competition. And these subjects that you see on the screen are how we are going to help you establish value. So the first one is to learn how to position yourself. Okay. The second one would be learning how you can use an estate directory service in getting this information, in providing a better value to your consumer, okay, to the person you're working with. We'll talk more about what the estate directory service is. And you don't charge anything for this, neither do we. A legal service kit. And with legal services, guys, we're talking about a basic kit for last will and testament, power of attorney, for medical, for legal, and a living will. These things we have in the way of a kit, and we don't provide legal advice. But I'll tell you what, if you can save a family a couple $100 for having to have this stuff prepared, and you're giving it to them for free, not looking to make any money off the kit itself, that's a huge value. We'll also be showing how we can do this with credit repair as a kit. Okay, this is stuff you give away. A scholarship search. Okay, I'm going to be emailing that to you all that are on the phone that are participating in this webinar. We're also going to share with people how they can save 10 to 25% off of certain utilities. Okay, obviously the notary service is a little plain to understand. It basically means that you provide the service of a notary and document review within the space of your practice, and you don't charge anything for that. Again, I don't want to be dismissive of how valuable that service is for people. You know, many people don't have anybody that they can contact for review of certain basic documents, and you can provide that service. And it's all about giving to people when they don't expect anybody else to give. It's all about positioning yourself to create more value than anybody else does. Now, does it take a little bit of time? Yes. But does it pay you major dividends on the back end? Absolutely. That basically means that you're not only being driven by profits, guys, is what it means. And I know many of you on the phone understand where I'm coming from with that and can relate. So bottom line, the last section here is expert referral. Now, what that means is that you're going to be providing a value to other professionals by referring business to them. And there's a way that you do that where they recognize you're bringing value and you're planting the seed of getting a referral relationship started. Okay? And I can't even begin to tell you how critical that is in creating not only a board of directors, but also in creating a networking opportunity for you in what you're able to do as you grow your agency within your community. You know, people go through 4 different stages of growth in their business. Okay? The first stage of growth in their business is where they don't know what they don't know. The second stage of growth in their business is where they begin to know, you know, and they're maybe getting a little cocky about it, but they have an idea what they're doing. The third is where they know that they know, and the confidence is now showing, and they're able to deliver on some results, and people, you know, are able to respect them because they're able to do what they say they needed to do. But the fourth, we don't elevate ourselves to. And the fourth, guys, is where we become known for what we know. And when you become known for what you know, that means your days of having to find prospects are over because people will be contacting you. The phone won't stop ringing. Now, the last training session that we'll have as it relates to creating value in this particular setup here is how to do effective follow-up through automation. And it's a 3-part training. This will help you be able to leverage technology so that you don't have to try to be in all places at all times. Now, the next slide, guys, talks about how we're going to create centers of influence. So again, all of this relates back to creating value. All of this relates back to how we're going to be working through employers and how we're going to be working through individuals and how you're going to stand out in the marketplace in this strategy. So creating centers of influence means that you're going to learn a strategy that we developed that's called indirect marketing. Indirect marketing is a strategy that's going to allow you to deliver for other business owners something that they want. Okay? And because you're going to deliver something that they want, they're going to gladly want to do business with you. They're going to gladly want to help you because you're going out of your way to help them. And it doesn't cost you a lot of money. In fact, this is something that if you do it right, it's just going to require some time on the phone. And you're going to want to develop relationships, obviously, so that your prospecting is lessened and the people that are contacting you is greatened. So let me explain it differently. You're either spending the majority of your time on the front end looking for customers and spending very little time actually working with customers and enrolling people, selling them insurance, or you're spending the majority of your time working with people and spending less time prospecting. Well, the only way that the latter ever happens, the only way that you ever get to a point where you're spending less time prospecting is if you have a massive network of people that are out there looking for you, bird dogging for you, sending you referrals. Because you've been there to help them, they then turn around and help you. And I'll tell you what, it's a long-term approach to growth. It creates solidification in your business. You'll never have a down quarter if you do this. If you don't do this and you keep doing things the way maybe you've done in the past, where you just make cold calls, guys, you'll never get out of that rat race. It never ends. So we're going to show you how to develop centers of influence with companies that do business to business, as well as business to consumers. And then business in general, because of the fact that we're going to be working with people doing the broker review. Now, within the business owner market, that third stage of the strategy to make money with the Affordable Care Act, okay, again, tying it together, guys, there's the Affordable Care Act that we're going to make money from on the first end. Second end is voluntary benefits, working through employers. Third part is what we're doing with business owners. And so as you begin to understand the potential within the business owner segment, obviously you're up marketing yourself, or you're getting to the next stage of market. When you're working with people that have a business, their needs are greater. The value you can bring to the table is much higher. They're going to be able to take advantage of your products and services in a greater way, buy more of them. And obviously, all of that type of activity is done during the day. Because this type of activity is more sophisticated, because there's a larger case size, it necessarily means, again, you're working smarter. The efforts behind what we're doing here is to all help you learn, okay, how to work smarter, not harder. The reason that we in the agency have been able to do better over the years is not because we put more time into the business, but it's because we've learned to create situations where we leverage time and technology and are able to get more work done with less effort. And that's really just a very smart thing to do. So within the business owner market, you're going to have higher level referrals. Now, going back to the subject of endless referrals, here's some of the trainings that we're going to get into, guys, over the next few weeks. These trainings will be available through a webinar. They will be recorded. They will be on our site for contracted agents. All of our trainings will be available for contracted agents. Okay? So the employer referrals, owner referrals, and individual referrals will all be developed and all be attained through learning some key strategies and some key skills. So we're going to be emailing you the first one because you participated in this webinar. The first one is going to be the 8 killer referral mistakes. And when you read this, you're just going to be glad that you're not doing this stuff if you are. And if you are, you need to stop, because it'll absolutely no longer allow you to get referrals. You're going to learn some very, very simple but very effective referral strategies and methods that will help you develop a foundation of creating referrals on a regular basis. These referral strategies will create raving fanatics for your service. Now, that's not an exaggeration, guys. All of you have remembered, one of your kids coming to you, if you have children, saying, I want that pair of Nike shoes, or, I want that particular type of clothes, or I want these glasses, or I want that game console. Have you ever wondered how the branding and how the imaging of that brand got to a point where they created raving fanatics? It's all psychology. It's all marketing. It's all positioning. And we're going to share with you how you can begin to do some of that through the serving first mindset, and create just some incredible relationships where people will be fanatical about your service. They'll rave about your service. And when you see this training, guys, you're going to be blown away. Now, when and how to ask for referrals is also key. That's an incredible training. When and how to ask for referrals is important because many people don't know how to do it right, and so they never do it. How to do what you need to do so you can guarantee prospects to return your phone calls. Incredible training. And then we're going to teach on the prestige introduction, something that has been seen by very few people in our profession. The prestige introduction elevates the whole point of a referral to another level, and almost ensures 100% of the time that you get in the door with people that you're being referred to, whether it's a business, whether it's an individual, whatever the case might be. That is an incredible strategy, guys. Now, as we continue through this webinar, guys, and we get close to the end here, the competitive advantage that you bring to the table, why we're interested in working with you, is because obviously working together we can accomplish a lot more. And the circles of context that you have around you are people that you're going to be able to work with and develop some business with quickly. Now, it's funny to say, but most insurance professionals that I know haven't sold insurance to their friends and family. Why? I have no idea, but it's a major mistake. They're going to be working with someone in this arena anyway. You have to realize that your first and most lucrative resource for you to get customers is the people that you know. Now, we will be sending a memory jogger to you so that you can put together a list of existing relationships. Why is this important? Because these people already like you. Why would you want to shortchange yourself and go around this particular group of people when with everyone else you're going to first have to establish credibility, you're going to have to first establish trust and likability? This group of people, unless you've been a curmudgeon, okay, unless you've been one of those people, then you're going to be in a better spot. If you've been a pretty nice person most of your life, then using the memory jogger we're going to send you is going to allow you to remember gobs of people that you can contact in your first circle and your second circle of contacts that will either become customers for you, give you referrals, or help you just expand your contact base. But the bottom line is, guys, you cannot overlook the existing relationships that you have with people, and there's a way to do it where it's comfortable. There's a way to do it where you're not pressuring people. There's a strategy and a methodology to do it where it's done right. We're going to teach you that. We're going to share that with you. And then we're going to start working through your circles 3 and 4. But your third and your fourth circle of contacts are acquaintances. Some of these people might have been a business owner that you met that you didn't really have a huge conversation with. Some of these people might be someone that you've worked with in the past that's gone on to do some other things and you haven't had a major conversation with. So through those circles, we're going to use tools. And those tools are going to be video education and pre-qualifying forms so that you don't waste time talking to people that don't want to talk to you. Now again, in an effort to be working smarter and not harder, guys, these are all tried and proven techniques and systems to help you get to the right people right away. And so as you learn to employ some of these strategies, okay, you're going to be seeing the results on the back end because you're going to have a better and better established business and a better established practice. If all you use this for is to help you get more business flowing into your already thriving practice, fantastic. These strategies will help you deliver in a big way. I promise you. Now, the timeline that we're looking at over the next few weeks, guys, is real simple. If you haven't already gotten contracted, if you haven't already done the training, okay, you need to do that right away. You need to get yourself some signage, okay, and we'll be posting on our site at enroll.org in a special section that's for agents that are contracted. You'll have a password. We'll be posting some sample and some guidance on signage. You're going to want to get a table if you don't have a table. Small table, you know, you can buy one for $50 at Costco or Sam's or Walmart. And you're going to need to have a laptop because all of the enrollments are going to be done through computers. And again, very soon we will have a basic schematic on how you can get yourself your own website so that you can enroll through the links on your website if you don't already have one. And that'll be a one-on-one conversation that we'll have to have with everybody. But that's very simple to do. Now, the locations and the schedule that you'll have to work through in working with employers, all that should be happening now. We're going to be going into some trainings on products very, very soon within the next few days. So again, just to summarize, what you should be doing now, and someone's asking if we know if you can use an Apple laptop, and as far as I know, yeah, you'll be able to use an Apple laptop. That shouldn't be a problem. You will be able to do the contracting and the training through the sites that we're sending you. Many of you have already gotten the United Healthcare contract that we sent you. The Blue Cross Blue Shield contract will be sent out by tonight, if not by Monday morning, but we do have the Blue Cross Blue Shield contract ready to be delivered within the very short time frame here. It's approved, it's done. They're going to be paying 6% commission. And then you will be getting a Allstate contract. Allstate is a carrier that we're working with for the voluntary benefits. If you're already working with Allstate, then we need to have a conversation. If you're not, and this is not the Allstate, the people that are on the corners, they call those exclusive agents, guys. The people that we're talking about are for voluntary benefits only. Totally separate division and a very distinct appointment, separate from what is on the corners with property and casualty agents, okay? Voluntary benefits only. And then we're going to be getting you contracted with the carrier by the name of IAA. Many of you have already done this contracting. The IAA contract will pay you, depending on production, anywhere from 80 to 100% commission in year 1 and 80 to 100% commission in year 2 for life insurance, non-medical universal life. So just to, again, there's some carriers we're going to contract for medical. Some we're going to be getting you contracted with one carrier for voluntary benefits, Allstate, and there's going to be one carrier outside of that we're going to be contracting for voluntary benefits by the name of IAA. Separate from those companies, at a later time, we can talk all about the different work that we're doing with Medicare, because we are involved in Medicare, and we can talk about all the things that we do for individual life with Banner and Genworth and all Transamerica and all those companies, because we also have contracts available for all that. But that's not the urgent issue right now. So we'll talk about those as time comes. But the bottom line is, there's some things that you as an individual ought to be doing to make sure you're prepared. If you haven't done the certification through the CMS website, please go to the enroll.org website, go to the tutorial, go through that training, get yourself certified. If you need any help with that, please call me. I'm available to help you. Okay? If you've done that, then you need to do part 2. Part 2 is where you go through the CMS portal and do the identity proofing so that you'll be ready. And they associate your name and your person as an identity with the grades that you got from the testing. Okay? There's 2 steps there. Now, once you've done that, carriers, as they release some of their information, will begin a training process very quickly here within the next couple of weeks for all of their stuff. So we're just going to run into a very short time frame here to do everything we can. Don't stress. You just do it as best as you can. October 1, everything begins. So we'll help you between now and then. If you haven't already begun to secure a location for a supermarket, a school, a pharmacy, doctor's office. I just got off the phone with an individual person that we work with in Tyler and Longview that was able to secure in a small county the hospital. So they're going to allow them to enroll at the hospital, guys. Can you imagine how many people are going in there for care where they don't have health insurance? I mean, that's a total no-brainer. If you can get yourself in a situation where you have that kind of traffic coming in, believe me, you'll enroll 2 or 3 people a day, at least. Okay? Now, October 1 forward, all of these trainings that we've talked about are going to be getting posted every couple of weeks for contracted agents. The first one will happen by the end of next week regarding those topics that we talked about. And then we'll have a couple of other webinars within the next week or 2 on how to engage employers. Okay? Now, next, guys, it's real simple. We're going to be teaching you, as I already talked about, how to create undeniable value. And I think the most important training that we help people with, that we have been sharing with people, is how to develop the 7 skills of being an insurance professional. Okay, this all ties back to what we're doing. Everything. Because if you can master these skills, these are some of the most highly paid skills in business. End of the day, no ifs, ands, or buts. If you can develop these skills, guys, you're going to be able to make some incredible income. And we're going to share information with you on these that will help you develop that. So over the next few months, we have an incredible opportunity to get in front of an incredible amount of people. 6 million Texans, guys. Your next steps are to make a decision. If you're going to participate, get to the next stage, guys. Do whatever it is that you're missing in the way of training or contracting. Call me if I can be of assistance, please. Those of you that don't have my number, it is 915-591-1957. That is the office number. Once again, 915-591-1957. That is automatically forwarded to my cell if I'm not in the office. We have staff, but that staff right now is concentrated on helping get people contracted and doing some of the things that we're doing there. Getting some of these systems in place that will enable us to have leads as they're coming through. So step 2, guys, if you haven't already done that, is get contracted. Step 3, get trained. Get started. There will never again be a time like this right now for you to position yourself as an expert and get into this traffic of all these people that are going to be looking for you. Learn to work with them, learn to serve them, and then get paid. So I'm going to open up the call, guys, to just any questions that you might have. I appreciate you all sticking through the interruptions there with audio. So I just opened up the call. If I can answer any questions for people while we've got you on the line. I can hear you in the background. I think you might have me on the speakerphone because there's a echo there. That's a little better. Go ahead. Okay. There's a major echo, but I did understand what you said. I don't know why there's such an echo, but you asked if the contract or the commission level was about the same with all the different carriers, and it is about the same. It's going to be running between 4 to 6% with most carriers. United Healthcare being at 8, but a couple of the carriers are going to be paying a as enrollments come in a per enrollment fee, like 125, 150 bucks. So you can imagine they're not going to be necessarily getting major enrollments. Any other questions? I just figured out why I was echoing. I hope that's better. Will there be an opportunity for you to get an override? Under affordable care, there is not any room. In fact, I've understood from some of the companies that we've worked with that going into the second and third year, they're going to eliminate overrides. So I don't know how true that is, but there is an opportunity for you to establish a hierarchy and help agents do some of what we do on the life insurance end and on the Medicare end. So to answer your question, uh, we could definitely help you. That'll be a one-on-one conversation. And somebody else just chatted, where can they get the contracting done? Please email me, okay, if you haven't received the contracting. I did send out the United Healthcare contract. We're about to send out the Blue Cross contract. If you haven't received those, or if you haven't received the first one, and we haven't had a conversation, please email me, if you would be so kind, to Jesus, Jesus, spelled like Jesus, B like Bustillos, as in Bob, Jesus B, at plans, the number 4 life.com. PLANS, as in insurance plans, the number 4 life.com. Or just pick up the phone and give me a holler. Okay, you can also reply to any of the email messages you're getting from enroll.org and say, hey, please send me the contract for so and so. Now, we're going to be obviously reaching out to everybody one-on-one, making sure that we've got you ready to go. But by all means, feel free to contact me, guys. I'm here to serve you. Any other questions? I'm sorry, sir. The question was, do we need a what? A broadband connection? Well, that's a good question. I would say, whatever connection you need for your internet, as long as you're able to get online, the enrollments will be done online. You will probably, if you can get broadband, that'd probably be better. It's usually faster. But you definitely will have access to you'll need access to the internet. Any other questions, guys? Not all at once, please. Yeah, we're going to be working for the voluntary disability is going to be with Allstate. And that contract pays around 60%, 50, 60%. I don't have it in front of me at the moment, but it's around 50 to 60% commission. And it's a great carrier, A-rated carrier, super competitive, and that is going to be what we're using for the voluntary markets. Does that answer your question? Okay. So if you're already working with them, if one of you on the line is already working with Allstate, guys, that's not a problem. We can either have help you uh, uh, become contracted under us. Depending on the situation, you may not want to. That's up to you. Bottom line, we're going to be looking to work with the people that want to work with us. If it's not on all the different things that we're doing, so be it. The bottom line is that as we grow this market, as long as we have a relationship with one another and we're helping you all enroll, you all are helping us grow distribution. I'm not expecting to be your solve all for every type of product. And I'm also not expecting for anybody to be captive with us. So we're all independent agents in this. Any other questions? No, sir. Just time. Yeah, there will be a an email that we'll send out that will show the webinar, a link to the webinar that was recorded, and some of the items that I told you you were going to be getting emailed because you participated on the webinar, you'll be getting that as well. Okay, unless you have, yeah, the way that the leads are going to work, guys, is real simple. There's two parts to that. Okay, part one is going to be through the auto dialer campaign. That's a good question, actually. Uh, the first is through the auto dialer campaign, and the auto dialer campaign is something that there will be a cost for. Okay, and through the auto dialer, we're basically going to be picking a zip code, making calls into that particular market, and that'll be with your information. And when we talk about a cost, we're talking about like $50 a month, which is ridiculous when it comes to what this can do for you. It's an unlimited number of calls. Okay, we're back. Can you hear me again? Okay, so there we go. So the auto dialer will allow us to dial into a particular zip code, and those leads will come directly to you, nobody else. You will have access to them via email as well as they will be emailed. Excuse me, the audio recording will be emailed as well as you'll be able to access that particular line through your own means. So there's the auto dialer leads. That's one. Those are response leads. That's where we're calling a business and we're saying, would you like for an agent to contact you regarding the Affordable Care Act and making sure you're in compliance, or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There'll be a scripting that we use for that. That's one. The other is where we're going to be providing free lists of businesses in a particular zip code so that you can contact them and with the scripting, get in the door to visit with them and look to work with them through working with their employees. That doesn't cost anything for you. Does that make sense? Plan plans for life. Plans for life. Did you hear that? Yeah, plans for life. Correct. Yeah, if you're still on the screen, you can see the. I'm sorry, I was just gonna say if you're still on the screen, you can see on the top right corner the name of the agency. And then there was another question. Yes, sir. Go ahead. Well, I can tell you that year one, we're expecting about a 10 to 15% penetration. Year two, another 20 to 30%. Year three is going to be, I think, the crazy year because that'll be when the penalty is at about $700. Year one, the penalty is going to be around 90 bucks, $95. Year two, it's going to be around 300. So in year two, the penalty being 300, we're not expecting, everybody to jump on board, but we're expecting a good 20 to 30% hike in who's participating. Now, having said that, year one is about positioning. Okay, I want to be real clear. Year one is not about making crazy money. You're going to make some good money, don't get me wrong, but it's about positioning. Have you guys ever heard that the first to the market stays first in the market? That's what this is about. Year one is about timing. Year one is about you getting in place. Year two, if you're already in place, guess what? You're already in place. You're already leagues ahead of all sorts of other people that are going to have missed the boat. Year three, you're already going to have gained a reputation for being an expert in this field, and people will be looking to you. They'll be naturally flowing people to you. And see, in year two and year three, the enrollment window is going to be very short. It's going to be about 6 weeks, where right now the enrollment window is 6 months. So using the strategies that we've outlined, you can really get into an awesome position and be able to take advantage of the timing where you're going to need that leverage next year and the year after. This is going to be something that you can do every year. That's a great question. Part of the reason that we're employing this strategy, guys, is because year one, for the next 6 months, you'll be able to work, and it's considered seasonal, but it's 6 months. Now, after that 6 month window, if you've got some groups established for disability and life insurance, if you've got some groups established for life and disability insurance, and you're developing some relationships with business owners on their individual planning, guess what? You've got work all year round. There's no waiting for enrollment time. You've got work to do all year round. You can sell business all year round. Does that make sense? So, uh, yeah, go ahead. Great question. No, it won't be because the people that are going to be qualifying for Medicaid are going to be getting onto Medicaid. And so we're going to be dealing with people that generally speaking are going to be earning 7.68 an hour and up, $7.68 an hour and up. So because we're going to be dealing with that population, if they have changes in their situation, there'll be enrollment opportunity there. But but and there'll be people that are going to be kind of coming into that open enrollment period. But the big opportunity right now, make no mistake, is to catch the wave and staying on top of the wave, and that's right now. Okay? So, guys, I know you're going to have more questions. As you think of them, please feel free to email me. Okay? I've got to run to get to another appointment here soon. If you have any questions, by all means, either call me, email me. I'm available to you. I'm going to be getting a list of everybody that was on the webinar and on the phone and getting this information I promised you by the end of the weekend. If you haven't gotten the contracting stuff, please reach out to me so that we can get you going on that. And if you haven't done the certification, please reach out to me so we can help you get going on that. Okay? Any last questions? Go ahead. Go ahead. Great question. You're going to be getting paid on the whole thing. So in the example I gave earlier in the presentation, if the annual premium was 11,000, you're going to be getting paid as a percentage of the 11,000. Not just that includes the subsidy. Okay? Absolutely. The carrier is going to be getting paid and the carrier is going to be paying us based on what they're getting in the way of premium. It's not just going to be the premium that they're getting from the insured. The government is going to be forwarding the money directly to the carrier for a particular individual. So if the carrier is getting $1,000 a month for Mr. and Mrs. Smith, and Mr. and Mrs. Smith is only sending in 150 a month, that 1,150 is what's going to be used to calculate your commission. Did I answer your question? Great. I hope you guys got some value out of this call, guys. I appreciate you all being on the line. Be blessed. Have an awesome afternoon, awesome weekend, and we'll talk to you real soon. Absolutely.